Yes, I'm in the Philippines. Nag-live ako dahil. How about you? Where are you now? Basta, ay, hello, good morning. I-convince mo talaga siya dahil na ano, punta ka sa US.
Sinabi man din natin. Gusto mo na niya. Sana doon daw kami mag-settle para sa magbigay sa sandin ng beautiful life.
Oo,
Kasi may bahay man daw siya, te.
yun nga.
Pero ngayon mag-isa lang siya. Doon lang siya stay sa kanilang farm.
Yeah, I got a friend here. Yeah, and I'm here in Cebu City. Kapuya. Magsige lang kag bike. Hello, my 10 people. Good morning from the Philippines. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, please do like, share, and subscribe. Good morning.
Recent tests show that the share of women cycling in a city is an indicator for how safe it is to cycle there. Women are generally more averse to risk in life than men. And when it comes to cycling, women simply won't cycle if it's not safe. I would say we're kind of smart that way. And also we need to adapt with the fact that women do 75 of the unpaid airline in the world, and that also means often traveling with the children. Then you need it to be extra safe for you to travel with your children. So designing for, especially for women and also for children to be able to cycle, that is designing, with safety in mind, and then being, that's part of normalizing cycling and making it for a much broader group than the younger, more daring and strong and fearless cyclists. Yeah, although you're proud of that as well.
As a joint transport strategy, makes cycling the obvious choice for commuters.
There's a dedicated compartment for bikes, not just 5 places. You don't have to fight for it, it's not bookable, and it's on every commuter train. It's to die for.
Leaving Copenhagen behind, I'm off to explore the rest of this island nation, heading for the small town of Skive in the heart of Jutland. Denmark has roughly the same population as Scotland, but just half the landmass. It wasn't always this way. Denmark once controlled Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland and Schleswig-Holstein, lost to Germany in a disastrous war in 1864, after which Denmark almost ceased to exist. Yet the Danes rapidly adapted to this huge loss of territory, population and status without patronage or nostalgia. Instead, the country accepted change and powered back, thanks in large part to an education system which is quite unique.
Well, there is life beyond Copenhagen and the big cities. This is small town Denmark. It's very different though. It's quiet. There's no pub. There's no shop in this little village. But there are apparently 6 little groups and societies all funded by the council. So people are active citizens here, just not in the public realm.
Larissa Albers is a teacher and mum. She walks her son Felix to kindergarten every morning.
They start the month before they turn 3.
Children start primary school not at 4 or 5, but at 6 in Denmark. And kindergarten is a light touch start.
They work with the letters and they work with the numbers and the colors, of course, but it's not a must that you can spell out your own name.
It costs roughly a third of a full-time place in the UK.
So if you didn't have a kindergarten or any childcare, it would be very hard for you to be a teacher at all. Yes, exactly. I have about a 30-minute drive to my work and also 30 minutes back. So I need to go somewhere I can deliver my children and know they're safe, and then I can do my job and provide money and provide for my family. You need to pick your child up before 5, and that's fine. If you don't mind me asking, how much tax are you paying, and are you happy to pay high tax for these facilities? Yes, I pay about 37% of my income in taxes, and I'm really happy, and I'm glad I'm doing it because it means I got the kindergarten, I got hospitals and anything I need provided. Is that the Danish way? Yes, we all help each other so that everybody gets the possibility to go to kindergarten. We also have families who don't have that much money, and then by us paying tax, we actually help them getting a cheaper or more discount in the daycare. And some of them even
Grabe sila like okay lang sa kanila magbayad sila ng 37% of the tax. Kasi yung iba daw hindi na nakakapag-school kasi walang pera.
We have activities that the grown-ups are preparing for the children all day. Today, we're really having a good weather, so we are outside. But we can go inside and cut and paint and play
difficulty with being outside?
No, not at all. It's mostly the parents that have difficulties. I think they're hiding and we can't see them, or their clothes are wet, but that's not an issue.
What do the children get from being outside all the time?
Experience. They have to taste and feel and and their social activities skills are very, very good because they have to move and get inside the play. Can I be with you, or can I not?
And so they're learning to cooperate.
Yeah.
Because this is the Danish way.
Yeah. The Danish way is that children playing is very valuable. Yeah.
Ang cute. Alalay na Inday.
The kindergarten sets up play and cooperation in education, but that gets reinforced at the age of 15, when many youngsters spend a year away from home in a remarkable Danish invention, the efterskole. They still do core academic subjects, but also learn something they truly love. This efterskole specializes in diving, swimming and sailing. There's a holiday today, but normally 170 15-year-olds from all over Denmark are learning, living, cooking and diving together. Principal teacher Yannick Marshall says efterskole are about far more than just hitting academic grades.
Yeah, that's a good morning.
I think it's important that we take some of the pressure off, to some of the tempo out of getting through to college and getting through to work. And I think there's too much. We have to stay.
Yeah, I have someone here with me right now. I got a visitor.
It's a job that we also look inside of you and look into your
Visitor pa ba tawag yan? Yung, siya yung nagluluto.
That's interesting.
She's the one cooking.
So this whole thing, so as a that's it of course.
Students share domestic chores, but for most of these 15-year-olds, it's their first time living away from home.
And they sit in the dining room in the family.
All right, so it kind of makes it more manageable than having 170 people.
Yeah, and then each family has a teacher that's their mentor or closest relation to home and home. And that's a very important role to be, because life hurts sometimes.
Yeah. The young people who come here are learning how to cooperate, create a community, and become active citizens.
I think we're happy, but we're also very self-focused, and we try to use this year to show that now you're part of a fellowship, and this is the strength of a fellowship. You give, you take. Some get more because they want to show us right now or being a better place in life. Then you give more to the community, and then you get back. So there's ups and downs in life. The ups and downs this year. So I think that's also one of the big values of being in an school.
What's not to love? But the chance to explore your interests in yourself doesn't end with efterskole at 15. Days aged 18 to 99 can also attend folk high schools or folkhögskola. These residential learning centres, inspired by the Danish thinker Nikolai Grundtvig, expand horizons, especially in that year between high school and university.
Hello, 15 people. Hi, good morning.
Buti na lang, may 555 na. Wala ka na gigisipin. Drive ka na sa kali.
Works hard.
The wild in pursuit of the suspect.
Wild plays it cool.
Could you show me that clip again?
Ay, oh, andito si ano? Si, what is this? Leslie! Dali. Here, just cooking food.
Caroline Steele Hoeksbro, the principal at Kravestorp Hochschule, explains that they recruit passionate practitioners, not conventional teaching staff.
We're not allowed to do exams, exactly, and we're not allowed to give grades. So that is a very unique possibility for us to teach in a way that nobody is controlling how we do it. Well, there is
Oh,
obviously
nobody will give grades. Nobody will give, Anna.
for a certain amount of hours, and it's not like there's no control in schools at all. But it is the
No competition. Wow!
claim of the school that we should not be a school with a curriculum.
She say hi, beautiful lady. Yeah.
If you ask people in my age, they would say the year and the after school.
Natunog na, pero ayos pa din.
Buang ka. Bahala ka
That's
din.
something you take.
Oh, sige, para liitan mo lang yung
Kravestorp is a modern arts-based school in a 500-year-old building with living teachers whose role is to encourage and
ay
inspire.
nahi lang, day.
Teacher Kirsten Pals is here after an international career
Yun nga.
in visual arts.
I'm not trained as a teacher. I am trained as a visual artist and I work as a visual artist. And this is also something which is possible in this kind of school, that we can work here without being trained as teachers, but we come here through our knowledge and engagement and passion for the arts. I'm from Oslo, Norway, and I can already see a huge difference in how the education system is between the two countries. Because here it's more for your own sake than doing something for your teacher. So you develop much more skills, and I feel like we're all very motivated to do whatever we're doing in whatever studio or workshop, because it's for your own sake, and you learn so much more than just having a grade and a teacher coming in and kind of saying, oh no, don't do that, they kind of guide you.
I think it's quite normal for Denmark to do a high school.
Ano yan? O, sige, day. Kasi, alam ko yan sa...
And I used to go to.
Ay, alam mo ba, mayroong ganito, day.
I did 2 years,
Di ba yan alam na? One.
and I thought that I
Ito.
wanted to try to do some art. So I found this school.
Hindi siya na isa-isa?
The students
Sige lang.
for half of the fee, and the Danish government believe very much in this kind of school, so they also subsidize the whole school in Denmark, because we believe that it's a larger project, making good citizenships. So what you get with you in this half a year, living together, taking responsibility for each other, being a collective, and orienting or this personal development has such a high value that the Danish government have decided to pay for this kind of school.
Of course, university still plays an important role in Danish education. Tuition is free, and students often qualify for additional living support expenses. It's part of
Kasi nakuha ka na yung rice mo.
another uniquely
Kalimutan mo na
Danish
sa...
take on the welfare state that accounts for more than a third of all government spending. Danes pay an average income tax of about 40%. So what do they get for their money? Free healthcare may sound like the average welfare state, but flexicurity is different. There are the small things, like parents get a day's pay to stay home with a sick child. And the big things, the Danish pension is truly livable, not one of the worst in the developed world. And unemployment benefit is linked to pay. That's the security part. But unusually, it's also relatively easy to get laid off in Denmark. And that's the flexibility bit. Here at Roskilde University, Professor Jon Kvist is an expert in Denmark's welfare policies.
I have to go to my German school, and she has to go also to my to her job. And what? That's it. And I have to go to the gym later. She has to go to her job.
There's a high trend of the economy works well, but it's not all on the shoulders of the employers or of the unemployed. It's more on all of us in the society who collectively finance these unemployed benefits and all the measures that have helped people get back into work. So that's the contract we have, that you're not entitled to a specific job, but you're entitled to a job. And if you don't have a job, then you get unemployment benefits and active occupancies and other measures to be trying to get you back into work.
And that must be what partly makes Danes happy.
Nagtanong nga, anong gagawin natin?
Yeah, I've not thought about how that before. But my friend, the painter, he loses his job 2 to 4 times a year, and he's a very happy man because he knows that he will get another job when he's fired. And he knows that between the 2 jobs, he will get another benefit. So he's not uncertain about his income, and his financial institutions are not certain that he will pay his mortgage. And so they're also happy to let him keep his house.
So, where does the money come from? What fuels
Hello,
the
good
economy
Yankee
that can
boy.
finance such a generous welfare system? Denmark is now a small country with relatively few natural resources.
It's incredible to think that longships like these once crossed the oceans in the Viking era, striking terror into the hearts
Yes,
of
we're
people in
safe,
Scotland,
thank you.
England and Ireland. But although the longships era has passed, the Danish domination of the world seas continues unabated.
Maersk is one of the world's biggest shipping companies.
Ay, grabe. Oh, nakita ko yan. Makes.
In the
Maersk.
70s, just as the Danish government had a
Ay,
hungry
Danish
welfare
pala
system to
yan.
feed, Maersk diversified into something new. Penny Morgan is the Maersk company historian.
We also went into
Yeah,
energy
rice.
production, formed a consortium called the Danish Underground Consortium, and they
Oh,
produced the
yeah, you
first
gotta
Danish
have
oil
rice.
in 1972.
Me, I don't
Which is
like
actually
rice
ahead
now
of
because I'm
Norway
into
and
the
Scotland.
gym now.
So you're just
So,
quietly first.
That developed into
yeah, I try not to eat a lot of rice for the carbs and everything.
With a company called Mass Drilling, offshore services, and
Gym,
Mass
gym,
Supply
gym,
Service.
gym, gym.
So got engaged
Because
in
I'm old now.
offshore and oil and gas production, which became
I'm
a
almost
significant
35
link
next
in the
week,
Mass
right?
companies after 1972.
It's ironic to be sitting in a country that's a leader in the green transition when you still got a lot of your business in oil.
We did have a lot of our business in oil. We have divested basically all of our activities in production of oil and gas by
Okay.
now. As a reaction to the green transition, Mass Supply Service is still part of the AP Moller Group, but is moving away from
Okay.
offshore services to servicing the windmill industry.
You pay taxes, and you paid taxes at a time when
Steaks
Denmark
are so
was really
expensive
rolling out its
here.
welfare state.
Yes, in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, where we had the contract with the Danish state on the production of oil and gas, we paid a lot of taxes, and whether that paid for some of the welfare state, absolutely. Our role today has probably been taken over by other companies because most of our activities, the Maersk activities, are around the world.
Maybe 500 per trunk.
This is the office of Mr. A.P. Müller, so the founder of Maersk.
Yeah.
He
We were
died
watching
in
documentary
1965,
for,
and,
what
at
is
that
this?
time,
Like
the
then,
office was put down
Denmark.
and taken away and then re-established here as part of our museum.
So that is
Your
Danish
founder had
speaking
some great
English.
sayings, and one of them was, if you have the ability, you have the responsibility. So what does that mean?
Let me start
Of
with the
course,
Danish
every
phrase.
ability has
It's called
responsibility.
meaning having a positive impact on society. So if you look at many of the sayings of A.P. Müller and his son Mads McKinney Müller, you'll find
Di ba we
this
see
line
one time we were
underneath
there
what
in
they're
the,
saying. We want to
Zani,
have a
nagkakoy
positive
ba ta
impact
sa,
on society.
sa
And if we
sa-
have the ability, we also actually have the responsibility to act
GY Square?
on that
Di ba
ability.
may time na kasama tayo sa GY Square? Di ba yung beef steak parang ganito ng kalaki, 500 na?
Huge corporations. Maersk is known all
Yeah,
around the
because you know
world,
what, like
so it may not
the steak
quite
are
reach
from
London as a
Australia.
household name. That pioneering
plastic toy launched in 1958. 400 billion pieces
Lego.
have been made since, and that's 50 bricks for everyone on the planet.
Bago yan ito sa labas.
And the wind industry wouldn't be the same without the innovation of Danish blacksmiths in the 1970s.
Kasi totoong Lego yung sa kanila. Sa atin, ano naman.
Today, they produce a fifth of all the world's wind turbines on and offshore and sit at the forefront of Denmark's green international image.
Yeah.
Danish turbines are
Unsa
powering
man?
an international
Be,
energy
ako lang.
revolution, but the underlying infrastructure needs to keep pace. That's where Danish colleges come in. The Skive College trains students from all over Europe in electricity distribution and subsea cabling. Head of Education, Kurt Lindholm, says they constantly adapt to the latest industry needs.
Every year we have an adjustment of what is asked for in knowledge and competence. What are we going to produce of students and knowledge to fit the future? I would say about 80 to 90% of our students are linked to the green transition and the future.
So I'm from Hull, Kingston upon Hull. The reason I'm here is I'm a trainee for my company.
No, JB Lin. Even me like sauces.
And we're here for training to get qualified to a 66 heavy graded.
We have people from Poland, Great Britain, Portugal on a commercial training because the green transition is global. And we
Yeah,
provide
this
some
sauce.
specific skills and some specific
Ola
training
and
that
Mosa.
are needed around the world, so they come here.
Yeah.
We're a small country, but we know we are good in engineering and we are good in acting. Convert knowledge to action. So we
Ay,
can sell our
convert
we can sell our
knowledge to
products.
action.
I think we have realized we cannot
Yeah.
produce things or components. We also need to produce things that can be exported, like knowledge.
Well, we're leaving the mainland behind and heading to the tiny island of Samso. Normally people think that the big advances, the pioneers, the go-getters are all in cities, but this little island rather proves differently. They were the UN climate champions at the COP26 summit, and they're likely to be net zero before the rest of Denmark
Ano pa siya
and
ng
Europe.
English nun?
9 miles off the Jutland coast, the island of Samso has less than 4,000 inhabitants and is less than a third of Arran in size. It's a low-lying farming community.
Sikat sa kanila, sa atin hindi naman yan sikat.
Not so different to many islands.
Bukid lang naman yan.
Ganun na
This
sana
metal is
sila mga
part of a
ganun din.
system that pretty much no Scottish island has, which is a big subsea connector that takes all the surplus energy in Samso for sale on the mainland of Denmark. And that's exactly the opposite
You're less
direction
in the
of
camera
travel
today.
that it used to be when the cable came in 1960.
Yeah, because I'm with her.
Agriculture is at the heart of the island economy, with small farms producing cereal crops and
We were
vegetables.
watching Denmark
They
documentary.
trust that tourists will pay.
Oh, I just like Philippines. God.
In 1998, Samsung
So there is seawater, there is mountains, but their houses are so nice.
Now an energy academy is generating.
There is no fence because I think so. There is no thief.
Is a vegetable farmer turned energy guru, Søren Hermansen.
Wala yung mga fence
who has the
dahil.
human nous needed to bring
Wow,
calming waters on
motorbike.
board.
The motorbike, there's no lock because no one is.
Simply for change's sake.
What is that?
The whole concept of being green is actually also my perspective, not what we aim to be.
Yeah.
For us, I think
Ano siya? Parang Spanish siya, Tem. De donde son hermosas?
Oh, ikaw. Sige na.
the most important reason for
Laban.
people to accept
Zamboanga.
changes. If we can change things to the better, and the
De
better is not for me
Zamboanga.
to decide. It's not environment, it's not energy or wind
From
turbines.
Philippines.
But the wind turbines can be tools to achieve what you want to change or where you want to make a better quality of your life in a social concept. I think that is what we have kind of been
Diba? I got
stepping
translator
out to
here.
find these connections, this glue
I have
of society
habla
where we
Espanyol
say,
here.
where does it make sense? And then wind turbines was one answer. And using biomass instead of imported oil was another one. I mean, every time we had to evaluate it, does it
My name
does
is
it tick all
Mary
the
and her
boxes?
name is
Is it
Jaybilin.
cheaper? Is it better? Is it local? Does it produce jobs? Which was all the answers that we had on the other side. I think that is basically
Sige, laban.
our recipe. And a lot of
Si
people ask,
Pais
is
de
that
Zamboanga.
scale this? I
Ano,
don't think
magkikil
so.
Bisaya.
It is
May
not
buntag,
scalable,
sir.
but it's inspirational.
Alcansis, kani mo.
Si un poquito español.
There's nothing new about wind power in Denmark, but getting the islanders to accept a new generation of towers in the landscape took careful negotiation. While farmers like Jørgen could see the money in wind, that didn't impress all of the neighbours.
We get a license here because we have a good area here. It's a long way to church. That's the point one.
Oh, okay. So if there was a church here, that would be a problem.
No, it was hopeless.
Hindi ko na naiintindihan yung susunod sa sabi niya.
Son Casadas Hermosas.
We had an agreement
Paligis
with
ko na
farmers
tas
that they
kalsada
would
tayo.
lease land to a co-op. The co-op was already existing and they could then have 2 turbines.
Translate,
We
translate.
didn't know how many, but we asked people to sign up and
Be.
show up and say, I'd like to buy a share in a wind turbine. Not to silence them, but to give them an opportunity to be co-owners. Because the co-ownership makes people much more aware of why it's there. Well, because it's money in the bucket for one reason, but it's also like you are part of a process where you are involved in it, both physically and
Ang baka
mentally.
nilang no.
We are doing this, not just a few
Oo.
farmers. And so in 2 weeks there was 50 farmers that asked for wind turbines on the countryside.
Wow.
Broken Spanish man kasi yung Chavacano.
Everybody could see. We could pay it back in 6-7 years.
And once islanders shared the
Ah,
benefits,
when he
it
said,
launched Jørgen
when she
his
said,
new
like,
wind-based
when he
business
said,
empire.
like, Son Casadas Hermosa. Casadas means married, no fuck. Like, we're not married. It's not common in the Philippines to get married with the same sex.
3 legs, right. Okay, not just one farming leg.
Good morning,
Yeah, a farming
Larry.
leg, an energy leg, and a building leg.
Yeah.
Right, that's quite a lot of legs.
Soren's plan also included making the island's villages and towns more energy efficient. They had largely
Pasanangka.
relied on imports of oil, but their own fields were brimming with another potential fuel, and there was a looming energy crisis.
So then we talked and negotiated with the farmers. They knew what the oil prices were, and we said to them, can you provide a 20% cheaper price with straw? Then I think we can convince most people to connect to district heating, because this will mean that energy bill will be cheaper per year. So there's a win-win for everybody. The house owners will have cheaper heat. The farmers will make a living or make an income from
We're
straw, where they usually
having
just have to
our
compost it on the
breakfast,
field. And we
like,
reduce a number of jobs we
egg,
had before to dig down the
shawmai.
trenches for piping, connecting the houses, taking the oil
Yes.
furnaces out and putting in heat pumps and so on and so forth. So when we talked about it in that way, we gave a lot of different reasons for people to connect to this.
Yes,
and say,
Marisol.
this is exactly
What are we eating?
You also
Ah.
kill a lot of birds with
Oo,
one
sige.
stone, because
Sige,
when
go.
you have the paper
Yeah, you
set,
can ask
you
whatever.
put a lot of stuff down there in one go.
21, turning 22.
When we're looking at change, a lot of people say, but we also have this problem and that problem and this problem, and then we can get stuck in a number of problems that piles up. Instead, we try to reverse that and think, so how many problems can we solve in one go? So when we do open up the road, then we could talk to the water people and say, what about these old rusty steel pipes? Maybe it's time to change them.
Allah.
No.
We pay our bit. The electricity.
Crazy.
Why don't we take these hanging wires down there
No.
every now and again? There's a storm or ice or they
Are you
also
married?
road and they fall down.
No,
Maintenance
she's not
costs are high,
married.
and I put them in
The
the
boyfriend
tower
is
cables.
coming.
It could be broadband, it could be many different things here. So we talked
In
to
December.
everybody and made them commit to this
Allah.
and co-finance the installations. So that made everything
Galit.
cheaper.
Magagalit si Jano.
So you are 3,700 people
Yeah,
with one council here.
yeah.
Yeah, and that really works. You would be in Scotland. There is nothing that small.
No.
So it's huge.
Sometimes people
There's
say,
nothing
"Oh,
free in
it would be
Scotland."
much better if we're in a bigger
Like
municipality."
in
Yeah.
There's also a lot of little things that becomes big
Oh
problems
yeah, she has to go to
because we're a
she
small
has to go
place.
to work,
But I think in
and
the long run,
also I have to
it
go
has
to
a
my
lot of,
German class today.
advantages to be a small place where we can actually communicate directly. But I mean,
everything has a flip side, but I think that's true. It is better to make decisions in a smaller environment where you know who to talk to.
Nako, ganito sa Timo ba? Tapos, get 15 in the app. Hindi pa. Pababayaran ka. Of course, he's very lucky, man. I hope so.
Sa negosyo, dapat delo lang for me. Tumatagal bago mag-exchange oil, kaya mas tipid. Sa Caltex Delo, sigurado ako.
That very local decision made Jorgen a happy farmer. Islanders too. 80% now have district heating, and their bills were cut during the cost of living crisis when UK bills trebled. Samso has 4 district heating boiler plants. Bales from local farms are loaded on a slow conveyor belt that inches the straw into a high-efficiency
Salamat!
burner. The furnace heats water.
Salamat, grateful and blessed.
In the streets to heat local homes, with ash returned
Thank you
to
for
the fields.
like sharing your time with us.
In here, I see a whole lot of straw bales that's kind of like a bit of a straw shed. You see, on the other hand,
This is not just a hay barn. This is a bank deposit for energy.
the great thing about this is that all your materials basically are so local.
I mean, this facility has contracts with 5-6 farmers who are not more than 3 to 5 kilometers away from this facility. And we have the same with the other facilities also. So we don't spend the saved carbon emission in transporting long distances and big trucks and tractors driving on the roads for long distances.
And then the other thing is, if anything goes wrong, the machinery is simple enough that a local person can fix it.
Yeah, I got 16 people right now. That's nice.
He'll come and fix almost everything here with his own tools and his own capacity.
The only variable factor is weather. Late season rain has delayed the harvest this year. So as I leave Samso, the farmers are still in the fields. It's clear that going green has brought jobs, security and cheaper energy, and that's made the whole community very happy.
Oh, that's nice. No, very nice city.
Back in Copenhagen,
Ang laki ng
heading to the heart
mga
of
buildings
Danish
nila.
democracy. How have these progressive policies survived the coming and going of governments over 50 years?
Wow, nice.
The TV series
He is 30 years old.
coalition politics into living rooms across
Yeah.
the world with its female prime minister
I am
deals in these
34
very
years
posters.
old.
And that's because Denmark's proportional parliament demands negotiation. Unlike the Westminster system, with its first past the post and winner takes all.
Hvis ikke vi kommer med konkrete ting, han kan forholde sig til, så må der blod.
Det giver mig ikke på integration uanset hvad. De får finansjustis og udenrigsministeriet og 6 andre, så tager vi økonomi og erhverv, undervisning og kultur.
Borgen's dramatic film location is nowhere near the actual seat of government. That business is conducted across the river in less striking, if more practical, modern settings, like the Foreign Ministry. Dan Jorgensen is the Minister for Climate, Energy and Utilities.
Most people will have watched Borgen and thought that, okay, that's brilliant, it's impressive, but it's a drama. It is actually for real because your parliament, your governments, are invariably coalitions between many parties, and that's normal because you've got a proportional parliament.
Well, not only are they coalitions, very often they will also be minority governments. So European governments will actually have the majority yourself. You're dependent on other parties to support you. And this makes it almost impossible for political parties to just go strictly for their own agenda. Also,
21, turning 22.
Even if you have a majority, for instance, right now we have a majority government. We don't actually use that majority very often.
Te, hermosa sa amin, te.
Always seek to
Parang maganda siya. Maganda.
for several reasons. One is, okay, so if our changes. We're pretty sure the decisions that we've made will stand. That's an important reason. But also,
Nilagay na lang sana
it's
kanina
part of
natin
Danish
sa ano,
culture
te,
that-
sa...
political culture that brought
Para
majorities
mainit siya, no?
are
Kanina.
seen as a good in itself. Now, if you ask most Danish people, they will probably tell you that they think that we have a lot of political differences in Denmark, but which we also do on some issues. But if you compare it to almost all other countries, the things that we are arguing about in the Danish parliament are quite small differences. So, for instance, we have this tax-funded welfare state, and there's actually no parties in the Danish parliament that want to fundamentally change that.
I must say, the time that we've been here,
Almost.
we can really see that just in every sort of small way, people are very
Almost
relaxed.
getting married in
It's very
December.
consensual. There's not conflict about.
Well, this is also something that you can see in the United Nations happiness index. We are almost always on top of that index, and I think, again, obviously for idealistic reasons, you want your people of a country to be happy.
Not that fun because she has to
Also
work and I have to go to my school.
A happy country is a country that's
Schule.
less sick, that's more productive, that's got less conflict. There's so many positive things to say about that. And of course it's all a circle, because if you're not happy and you don't have a lot of trust, social capital in society, then you're not able or willing to pay that much in tax. And if you don't pay that much in tax, you're not able to have this welfare state. And then, so you see, it's all interconnected.
In the 1970s, a big decision happened when the oil crisis happened, the OPEC crisis happened. All the oil and gas prices in the world went up. But
Wala, tinatag lang
did
naman yan
something
nila.
really quite extraordinary
English naman yan
afterwards,
si ano.
which was
Well, we decided that it wasn't a good idea to be dependent on energy sources from other countries. So basically, instead of being
Ano
dependent
sabi?
on oil
Nagtatype din si Leslie.
countries that could, like this, decide to raise the prices and thereby hurt our economy, we needed alternatives.
Marami
That's
na akong
actually how we
parcel.
started developing renewable energy. So that time, it's strange to think about it now, but at that time it didn't really have anything to do with the
Yung iba kay
environment.
Teresa lang.
It wasn't a green movement as such. It then quickly
Kaya siya magpunta si Teresa
evolved to
dito, te.
that because
Mga December siguro.
many of the very active forces in the Danish society that wanted to make this happen were also interested in the environment, so it went hand in hand, but actually that's how it started.
so really it was about protecting your independence as a country, really.
Yeah, it was, instead of buying your energy very expensive from other countries and thereby also being dependent
Hello,
on them, it is
Joha.
much better to create your own energy.
But then you also decided to keep the price of oil and gas high in
My
Denmark.
God.
And you made the cost of
We will
importing
watch him if
cars
he go on.
really, really
He's
expensive.
the owner of the oil
Food
and gas
votes for
industry.
parties like that.
Well, we decided
My
decades ago
God.
that maybe it's a good idea if you want a welfare state that it's,
If
that
you
it's
wanna
expensive, so you
take
need a
it.
lot of tax revenue. Maybe
Taim.
it's then a good
Sana.
idea to tax the things that's a good idea to tax because you also want to limit it. Because
That
then
is
you get
penalty.
two things. You'll get the revenue from the taxes, but you will also get
Okay,
less pollution.
thank you, Larry.
Having said that, I would lie if I said that it's very popular to tax cars. It isn't. But on the other hand, I think most people in Denmark sort of just accept it because they know, one, we need to do it because of the environment and the climate, and two, if we didn't tax that, if we didn't tax the cars, we would need the money from somewhere else and we would have to tax something different.
Coming back to the question of climate, Denmark is now right at the front of the green transition, having created the grouping beyond oil and gas at the COP26 summit actually in Glasgow. What are your immediate aims and how confident are you you're going to get there?
Well, we've decided to stop our oil and gas production. When we made the decision, we were the biggest oil producer in the EU, so we did, even though we also had a lot of renewables already then, we still also have oil and gas. And we still do have oil and gas today.
Yeah,
But
me
we decided
regalas
that if we want
una
to fight
vuelta
climate change, it's
hermosa.
not enough
I can
to
read, but I don't know how
be
to.
leading
I don't
renewable
understand.
energy. So that's really the demand side of
Parang
of
deep na
energy
talaga siya ano to
question. We
Espanyol.
also needed to be leaders on
Deep
the
na
supply
talaga
side.
Espanyol. Yung
So
Chabacano
it
kasi
would have
sa
been
amin
better
broken
prepared
Spanish
us
kasi
if
siya.
in the future
So,
we
hindi siya
would be
Espanyol.
100%
Parang
agree with
Espanyol siya,
Denmark,
pero
but we
deep
would
na talaga.
still
Hindi namin maintindihan. Kasi
Ay,
broken
oh.
Spanish
gas
eh
and
kami.
sell it to others. So we would just export the problem. That would not be a good idea. So we decided to stop
I
all
only wanna
future
die
licensing rounds and put an end date in 2050. Now for this to actually happen, which it will, of course we then need alternatives. So this means that we also have to spark our innovation and be even more ambitious on renewables, and that is what we do.
But life's not perfect. Denmark's refugee policy
Ano
has
na?
international critics.
Nag-ano
Its
na?
proportional parliament means far-right
Nag-divide na
parties
sila?
are represented and very visible.
Hindi pa kaya?
And a
Oh,
controversial
more
new
pa,
law
more.
limits the proportion of non-Western people in certain neighbourhoods to aid integration. But though Denmark has many of the same problems facing Britain, it tends to approach them with an instinctive solidarity. Holly Dahl is a regional newspaper editor and was a political correspondent in Copenhagen.
The age for when you can leave your job is going up because we want people to
No
stay
se permente compartir aquí. Ay, nako, ikaw pala. English na lang.
67 now, but it will go up to maybe 69 in a couple of years. But we accept that we have to maybe be hardworking to have the money for the welfare system, the social system we have to make sure that everyone has the possibility of a good life. The biggest problem is now to have enough people to fill out the jobs which is not occupied at the moment. Meaning both the welfare system and the education system and the private companies could use a lot more staff at the moment. Many places also here locally. So we just hope for instance, the Ukrainians have very easy, refugees from Ukraine have very easily found jobs
Estas
here.
small, estas hermosa reina.
The young people when they finish school are more willing to stay in this area instead of moving to Copenhagen, for instance. We need them here to fulfill the job applies that are here.
Issues you might find in any Scottish paper. In fact, Ola is a regular visitor to Scotland and sees strong similarities with Denmark.
In many ways, Scotland and Nordic countries are so similar, I think, when it comes to life and priorities in life.
Ano naman yan?
Also,
Si Leslie.
that this cooperation could even be stronger between Scotland, especially and the Nordic countries.
Denmark is now a small but perfectly formed country. The astonishing thing about the Nordic countries is that there are so many small countries working together that nobody seems to think you should all have the same currency. All of you have a different currency from the neighbour, and you're not a United States.
Oh, you hear it?
And you never will be until you've one state.
What is this?
We like to have this independence as well. The Scandinavian countries and it works very well. We cooperate and we let the people in the countries flourish in their own way and in a way where they have their strengths, they can show it. And still have a good strong cooperation because that's needed, of course, when we have a challenge in the world. Europe should stick together.
You remember that?
And the Nordic countries.
Yeah, me regalas tu número de WhatsApp, hermosa. Can I have your WhatsApp number, Mona?
And Scotland, of course, we like to see Scotland back in
Nag-iingay
Europe
siya
someday.
ng WhatsApp number.
Why, Yula?
I've got one more trip in my journey of discovery. I'm travelling east from Copenhagen to test the ease of movement between Denmark and her nearest foreign neighbour, Sweden. Very easy, as it turns out.
The famous Öresund Bridge between Denmark and Sweden, a frictionless border between two different countries with different systems, different languages, and different currencies.
Yeah, because it's you.
Does that get in the way of cross-border trade? Not when you pay by card.
Denmark and no problem. Any here?
Sure naman.
So this is Denmark. It's known for its green energy and happy people. But its biggest achievement threaded through my journey and across the lifespan of every Dane is cooperation. It's built into the kindergarten and unique after-school, the district heating that powers communities, and the coalition parliament that can stick to an anti-oil strategy for 50 years. You can ski on heating systems, swim on docks, and escape your parents at 15, all courtesy of the state. Denmark is relaxed, cooperative, and playful, without the stress that the devils
Wow, nice! My God, nice pero flood control
Happiness, like beauty, is more than skin deep. No
Hindi,
wonder
walang
the Danes
traffic.
are laughing.
Buti pa yung mga pulubi doon sa labas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hindi naman tayo nangangarap pag-ipulubi sa labas.
Sarap na.
Sige lang.
Alright. There you have it.
Besame.
So for today's vlog po, ay isi-share ko sa inyo kung paano po mag-apply sa Food Panda
Pero hindi pa siya paipit.
or vendor. Hindi. Sumakasot sa ganang quarantine period ay medyo apektado po lahat ng apektado po lahat ng business kahit saan man, diba? Worldwide, kahit saan man sa mundo. I am thinking of na isara na sana yung cafe namin kasi nga medyo mahirap na talaga siya. Hindi na siya katulad na dati na talagang luckily ay hindi ko naman siya sinara. Thank God. Kahit pa paano, salamat sa Diyos at hindi po namin siya nasara. Just to give you a little background sa cafe. Yung cafe guys, ano siya
Sabi
guys,
niya,
yung dati
Latte
natin, wala
Estade,
pang pandemic
Frente,
ay
and
may
El
buffet kami.
Sabular.
So buffet, meaning marami siya.
Bala ka na.
Discuss niya sa akin kung ano yung
Wala
magiging
na
process
Maxwell sa
or
Jollibee.
requirements na kailangan
Wala na din sa machine nila.
bigyan ka ng vendor agreement contract. After ng phone call, nag-email siya sa akin. Nakapaloob doon, naka-attach doon yung vendor agreement form na kailangan mong fill upan. And then, email sa kanila yung signed vendor agreement form, yung menu mo na kung saan na ipasa mo yung actual photo ng mga products mo, yung logo mo, tapos yung
Ito sabi,
details mo,
BAR
and then
2303 can be follow, pero ayaw naman, di ba?
price per
Siguro bago na ngayon.
So, wala yung na-proceed kagabi, te?
Ano?
Wala yung na-proceed kagabi?
Ano?
Yung ginawa mo ba, walang na-proceed?
Kasi nga, as per Sir Briggs, hindi nila masyadong nare-report na kailangan mo ipasa agad-agad yung BIR 2303. So,
Ewan ko, kasi ayaw talaga, di ba? Wala namang latest kasi. Di ba wala silang latest, no? 4 years talaga, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Siguro this time, nung 5 years pa to, kasi okay lang, kasi pandemic. Pero ngayon, hindi na pandemic, kaya kailangan siguro yung documents. Five years ago. Ito, 3 months ago.
In today's technology, gives hope to everyone to do business only from home.
Malaysia.
There is no need for an expensive restaurant, cafe. You just need effort. You can do food business from home with the Food Panda application. There may also be some members who do not understand how to register food. Picture in menu of the food you want to sell. Oh yes, I forgot. Make sure you have registered.
I want. 17. BR and DTI registered. Hi, ewan ko sa inyo. Okay, in 1 minute time, I will end this live stream. Tago 1 hour lang naman ako mag-ano. Dito na lang tayo sa ano. Sa Norway naman tayo. That's Norway. Oh, just like Philippines, but they have a lot of money. Oh. If only Philippines has a lot of money, we will not go out in the other country.
The country is located on the western part of the Scandinavian Peninsula.
Scandinavian Peninsula.
Bordering Sweden, Finland,
Very nice,
and
very
Russia.
clean. Oh my God.
While opening onto the vast North Atlantic,
Oh, so cold.
creating a scenery
The bridge,
that
oh.
is both grand and diverse.
Bye-bye.